Tonight, a 50-year-old mother charged over an alleged hit-and-run death faces court. The ICAC change that could have serious ramifications for the anti-corruption watchdog. $100 billion wiped in minutes. Tonight, the market plunge hitting your super. Also tonight, the fun and frivolity in the countdown to the Darwin Triple Crown, and wild celebrations across the country as an unlikely hero sends the Socceroos to the World Cup.
This is 9 News Darwin with Paul Murphy.
Good evening. The Northern Territory woman allegedly at the centre of the human leg discovery on Darwin's main highway has been given some conditional freedoms. It comes as police allege Deborah Mason and her son went to concerted efforts to cover up a hit and run.
After nearly 2 weeks behind bars, today Deborah Mason thanked the judge for granting her bail. On May 30, it's alleged she helped her son Joshua Mason after the 23-year-old fatally struck a woman on the Stewart Highway. Their alleged victim, today identified as Kumanjai Dixon. The pair are accused of putting the 43-year-old's body in the back of their ute and partially burying her remains in bushland. Miss Mason's lawyer today said her client's children were prepared to put up an amount of money to ensure she comes back to court, adding it was her first time in custody and the 50-year-old is at risk of being assaulted and is currently in protection. The Crown prosecutor opposed bail and argued she may be safer behind bars. Not knowing that the victim had her legs severed during impact, the next day Deborah Mason allegedly went about business until her daughter let her know the leg had been found and perhaps the game was up, Judge Austin said today. It wasn't until she participated in a record of interview that she allegedly told the truth. Bail eventually granted with a long list of conditions. Miss Mason will now be subject to a strict curfew, mustn't go within 100 metres of an airport terminal and won't be permitted to have any contact with her son and co-accused. The duo will return to court next month and face a maximum penalty of more than 15 years imprisonment, charged with perverting the course of justice, destroying evidence and misconduct with regards to a corpse. Amy Clements, 9 News.
The Independent Commissioner Against Corruption dropped a bombshell in budget estimates today, claiming he's concerned he won't be able to carry out anti-corruption inquiries to the full extent of his power after his funding was drastically cut.
Michael Riches, battling COVID, but still pulling punches.
I did make a recent submission in respect of my budget allocation. That submission was not accepted. I am, of course, disappointed.
The Commissioner appearing at estimates after his department budget was slashed by 20%.
The significant reduction from this year's budget will, of course, impact the discharge of my statutory functions.
ICAC is currently investigating 14 matters, with 3 preliminary inquiries also underway. Most remain secret, but the decision to charge Zachary Rolfe, Marara Stadium compliance and the home improvement scheme are all known to be under investigation.
It received a core base of funding, and then if there was significant matters that needed to be funded, then a Treasurer's advance could be sought.
The corruption watchdog is also defending 5 separate Supreme Court matters brought against the previous Commissioner, which has already cost $150,000 in legal fees. Leah Finocchiaro says the funding cut doesn't pass the pub test.
I think it's pretty interesting that a government is able to cut funding to an ICAC, particularly at a time when the government is undoubtedly under investigation. We know from the Auditor General.
The ICAC Commissioner also revealed today that he's been forced to drop an investigation into allegations that Cabinet has been misled because Cabinet documents are sealed.
If the right advice from the right people says that there are ways in which to preserve the importance of Cabinet confidentiality but also give opportunities for the ICAC to be able to look at certain things, then we would be very supportive of that.
The grilling of Natasha Files continued late into the afternoon in her capacity as Health Minister, revealing $6.7 million is owed from unpaid quarantine bills from Howard Springs. Amy Sinclair, 9 News.
Projects targeting domestic and sexual violence are set for a major funding boost. The preventative approach organisations are taking aims to tackle the high rates of DV across the top end.
Millions of dollars in funding for violence prevention, tackling an issue that still affects many Territory residents.
It's incredibly important. This was something that we agreed on right from the start, that we really need to make sure that we double down in the preventative space. We need to work with education. We need to work in that early space.
The Files government will invest $5.1 million over 3 years. Prevention front and centre.
We can't just continue to fund women's safe houses. We have to make sure that our investments are going into prevention.
One of the successful applicants, Music NT, helping to support the All Good project.
The idea is to work with audiences, venue staff and musicians to ensure that anyone, regardless of who they are, can go and see live music and enjoy the amazing NT music scene.
The program conducts workshops with staff to ensure they know the correct protocols if a patron is not feeling safe.
They're aware of what active bystanding means, they're aware to look out for everyone there, and I think it just grows broadly a safety net for everyone to be able to enjoy.
10 different venues across the NT have now signed up to the All Good project, including the Trailer Boat Club. Posters up around pubs and clubs that are involved. This extra funding will now allow music festivals to be included in the program.
It's really, a lot of it's about assurance. So if someone is in a venue and feels something that's not right, they're assured that they know if they go to staff, they're going to be listened to rather than it's just, pushed aside or not really noticed.
The funding will also help projects in Gallawinku and Katherine. Georgie Dickerson, 9 News.
Beijing is insisting Canberra take concrete actions to hit the reset button on a relationship that's been in the deep freeze for more than 2 years. But the Prime Minister says it's China that has changed, and the first step should be lifting the trade bans it slapped on Australian goods.
With the Socceroos on the way to the World Cup, everyone is now on the team.
Socceroos, we're very proud.
And the man who leads Team Australia can also claim a small win after his government scored the first meeting with a Chinese minister in over 2 years.
We do need to engage with each other, and that's a positive step.
But it's too early to declare a thaw in the deeply frosty relations.
This is just the first step.
And although the tone has changed, Australia's concern about the rise of a more aggressive China has not.
And the substantive policy of this government hasn't changed at all from that of the previous government.
In Beijing, China is demanding Australia make unspecified concessions. To improve China-Australia relations, there is no autopilot mode. A reset requires concrete actions. The Prime Minister has some demands of his own.
It is China that have imposed sanctions on Australia. They need to remove those sanctions in order to improve relations between Australia and China.
The Defence Minister is now in Japan, which shares Australia's fears about China. And there, Richard Marles is again sticking to the former government's game plan of forging ever deeper defence ties with Tokyo.
We've signed a reciprocal access agreement which allows our militaries to operate in each other's countries. That's actually a really big step to take.
And this relationship is another point of friction with China. Chris Ullman, 9 News.
Trouble had been brewing and the warnings from Wall Street were grim, but when the Australian share market opened this morning, the losses were simply brutal. More than 5% wiped off in a matter of minutes, billions in retirement savings washed away, the worst one-day plunge in years.
It was red across the board.
Carnage. One word, it is carnage.
At its worst point today, our market had lost as much as $112 billion.
Today is one of, in terms of value, the worst days you'll ever see.
Leaving mum and dad investors, superannuation accounts and self-funded retirees like Jenny with a sinking feeling.
It's worrying because we're an older age group. We can't go back to work and make up what we're losing.
She and some friends were in town for a show today, but the usual upbeat conversation was replaced by market talk.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've been there before. I lost half my super in the GFC.
Global shares are now in a bear market, meaning in a short time they've collapsed by more than 20%. Bonds, Bitcoin and even property are also caught in the storm. And the finger is being pointed at soaring interest rates.
Central banks now across the globe are trying to catch inflation, almost at the cost of everything else.
In a battle to get grocery and petrol costs under control, investors are worried they'll go too hard.
Is the recession probability higher? Yes.
If there's any good news, it's that Australia is holding up better than almost anywhere else. So far this year, Wall Street has plunged 22%. While it hasn't been comfortable here, our losses are nowhere near as big as that.
But for those with skin in the game, the consequences of this market rout are clear.
I think times are going to be hard for the next considerable amount of time. I think it's going to be difficult for a lot of people.
Chris Kohler, 9 News.
A liar who was detached from reality. Donald Trump has been skewered by some of his closest advisors during the public hearing into the January 6 riots. He's already gone on the defensive, issuing a 12-page rebuttal to the day's testimony.
They stormed the Capitol enraged by what they believed was a rigged election.
They stole that from us.
To our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
In the weeks following the vote, Trump peddled baseless conspiracies of electoral fraud, including claims dead people voted.
Not only was there not evidence of 8,000 dead voters voting in Pennsylvania, there wasn't evidence of 8.
What they were proposing, I thought was nuts.
Even Trump's loyal Attorney General Bill Barr told him the claims were bogus.
If he really believes this stuff, he has, lost contact with he's become detached from reality.
Trump falsely declared victory even though millions of votes had yet to be counted and against the advice of his campaign team.
It was far too early to be making any calls like that.
The results were still being counted.
Instead, taking guidance from an inebriated Rudy Giuliani.
And the mayor was definitely intoxicated. I think effectively Mayor Giuliani was saying, we want it. They're stealing it from us. Where'd all the votes come from? We need to go say that we won.
A former Fox News political editor sacked for being the first to call Joe Biden's win in Arizona testified the result was never in doubt.
As of November 7th, in your judgment, what were the chances of President Trump winning the election?
After that point?
Yes.
None.
Trump supporters also raised hundreds of millions of dollars to fight fraud claims which never existed.
The big lie was also a big ripoff.
The irony of a man who professes to loathe fake news, accused of attempting the greatest electoral con in American history. In the United States, Sophie Walsh, 9 News.
The last functioning bridge to the Ukrainian city of Severodonetsk has been destroyed by Russian shelling, making it impossible to get civilians out and humanitarian aid in. The regional governor said Ukraine still controlled part of the city, but a senior US official claimed the key cities of both Severodonetsk and Lysychansk could fall to Russia in the coming days. Authorities are scrambling to test millions of Beijing residents as COVID tears through the Chinese capital. There are more than 220 cases linked to a popular bar just 1 week after the city's lockdown was lifted. The response to the new outbreak is raising fresh concerns over the country's COVID zero policy. A huge gamble from the coach on the man they call the Grey Wiggle has delivered a boil-over, with the Socceroos on their way to their 5th consecutive World Cup. Australia booking its place after the reserve goalkeeper produced the match winner against a highly fancied Peru.
It's all on this for Peru.
And for Australia, it was all on the swinging shoulders of a substitute keeper.
And Redmayne makes the save.
And a World Cup dream comes true.
It's a save that means the world to Australia. It's a save that means the World Cup for Australia.
It had been the longest road to Qatar 2022, 20 matches, only 4 at home. An emotional rollercoaster ride for the players and their supporters. Watching on in Melbourne's Federation Square, it was mayhem before dawn. And in a Sydney lounge room, the biggest fans of Australia's latest sporting hero cheered the loudest. Andrew Redmayne's wife, Caitlin, and daughter, 1-year-old Poppy, jumping for joy.
We are just I'm honestly on the verge of tears again. We're so proud of him.
For the Socceroos, it was history repeating itself with a penalty shootout securing a World Cup spot. It was 2005 in this stadium, and striker John Aloisi stepped up and became a legend.
The World Cup for us. He scored! Australia have done
Redmayne will be forever remembered, you know, that save, but also just his smile after he made that save, his big beard, and just what it meant to him and meant to the group.
After a couple of near misses,
And Galesi smothers the ball.
and the match against Peru heading to a penalty shootout, coach Graham Arnold made the biggest call in his career, substituting his captain, Matt Ryan, for his reserve keeper.
Fascinating tactic from Graham Arnold.
In the past, Redmayne's Wiggles dance routine has proven a match winner, helping Sydney FC clinch the A-League title in 2019. For the coach, it was a masterstroke.
I'm quite speechless at the moment because no one in Australia gave us a chance.
I'm under no illusion about where I stand in the team. I'm just glad that I was able to play a small role tonight.
On the bigger stage, Peru, ranked 22 in the world, 20 places higher than us, had declared a public holiday to celebrate. It became a wake as the Socceroos party.
I called out Anthony Albanese to give everyone, the fans, a day off.
For all those Australians who will be a bit tired today at work, I say to their bosses, be nice to them. If someone's having a little kip in the corner, it's understandable.
The Socceroos on their way to their 5th consecutive World Cup.
Another World Cup, baby!
With a goalkeeper in grey who has all the moves.
Congratulations to all the Socceroos, especially Andrew the Grey Wiggle. Mate, you've inspired everybody.
And the Wiggles were quick to adopt him. Damien Ryan, 9 News.
The wait is almost over as the supercars prepare to hit the track for the Darwin Triple Crown. Tonight, 9 News previews the schedule of action-packed events leading up to the big weekend.
Revved up and roaring into town. These are the drivers behind the wheel of Australia's fastest supercars.
It is the one event of the year where I do not even bother looking at the weather forecast.
Ford's Anton De Pasquale is having his best year to date. Sitting second in the Drivers' Championship, the 26-year-old is hoping to keep up his top form in the top end.
There's always a hope. Every 25 or 26 drivers out there are aiming for the win and for the biggest trophy at the end of the day, so we're included in that.
Meanwhile, Shell V-Power's racing team partner Will Davison will celebrate a major milestone in Darwin, his 500th race.
Yeah, it makes me feel a bit old, but I don't feel it. I still feel, as hungry as ever and certainly, as keen as my first ever race in the sport.
And on Thursday night, you'll get to meet your favourite supercar stars with a signing session set to take place here at the Darwin waterfront between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m, with activities also planned.
We get warmly embraced by, everyone locally here, and so many people travel from all around Australia to have a week's holiday, so the vibe's always good in town.
Tomorrow night, a transporter convoy will roll through town, departing Hidden Valley at 6:30, travelling through the city and back. Family-friendly events on offer next to the convoy from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Raintree Park. Jack Hahn, 9 News.
Time now for a quick look at the weather with Georgie Dickerson. And Georgie, how did the weather shape up today in the top end?
Murph, it was another dry and sunny day throughout much of the territory. It was partly cloudy over the northeast Arnhem district with some light showers over the Gove Peninsula, while smoke over the northern Daly district did impact parts of the Greater Darwin area this afternoon. And Murph, I'll be back later in your bulletin for your full weather forecast.
Look forward to it. See you then, Georgie. Ahead in 9 News, disgraced Hey Dad star Robert Hughes about to be booted from the country. Plus, the family power play behind a royal tradition. And later in sport, the Soldies unleash a new dynamic duo as Deng Riak returns from injury.
Winter crisis. Can we keep the lights and heaters on? Will there be blackouts? Why you're being asked to save power? Your questions answered. A current affair tonight.
Oh, a few reptiles I see.
Tuesday. This is so crazy for me. Goes wild.
Oh.
I found your kryptonite.
We want to make your pet a star. Who'll deliver the perfect performance?
They're a bit like other people's children. Adorable, but...
And be top dog.
Customer experience has to be top notch.
We've got the pauper package.
Do I look like a pauper?
You don't call her a pauper.
Don't insult me, darling.
And heartbreak hits.
I'm so sorry.
Celebrity Apprentice, tonight, 7:30 on 9.
Come see Bradnam's wide range of innovative products locally manufactured by Dabsco. Whether building, renovating or replacing existing products, we have the glass window or door solution to meet most applications. Top quality products and service is always our guarantee at Dabsco.
Join us at Mindle Beach Casino Resort for your chance to win a cornucopia of cash. We have an abundance of cash prizes to be won every Saturday and every Sunday. Entry is free. Simply collect your wristband on arrival. Lucky North Club members who earn 100 points on the day can receive 2 extra entries. Join us for your chance to win a cornucopia of cash this weekend at Mindle Beach Casino Resort.
Don't just get a forklift, get Toyota's legendary reliability. Get world-leading safety. Get more uptime.
And get more value for your business.
Don't just get a forklift, give your business the Toyota Forklift Advantage.
The Atlantis 2022 Northern Territory Seafood Industry Awards proudly celebrates the excellence and passion of the people and businesses who produce high-quality, fresh produce from local pristine waters. The Northern Territory Seafood Council congratulates all the award recipients and sincerely thanks major sponsor Atlantis and all award sponsors. Ask if it's local. Support NT Court.
At Specsavers, you can get 50% off lens options when purchasing 2 pairs from the $249 range or above. So, for clearly great value, should have gone to Specsavers. Offer ends June 29, conditions apply.
Disgraced Hey Dad actor Robert Hughes is going to be deported to the UK. The convicted pedophile was released from a Sydney jail today after being granted parole. He is a non-lawful citizen after renouncing his Australian citizenship in 2020, meaning he cannot stay in the country. His wife claims she's found treatment for him in Britain. Hughes was jailed in 2014 after being found guilty of assaulting 4 girls during the 1980s and 90s. A 62-year-old woman has been found dead in a home in Sydney's southwest, allegedly stabbed to death by a close friend. The man accused of murdering her handing himself into police late last night.
Loved ones holding on tight, their grief mixed with utter shock. Cheryl Johnson allegedly murdered at the hands of her close friend in this Prairie Wood home last night.
It's pretty nerve-wracking considering I only live a couple of doors up.
Forensics back and forth on Christie Street, bags of evidence pulled from the home of Antonio Dallabetta. Police say the 59-year-old handed himself in at Wetherill Park Police Station around 9 last night, no more than 250 metres from where he's alleged to have committed murder.
There's a police station here. Yeah, that's a big surprise for me, to be honest.
The lawyer for the accused did not submit a bail application in court.
How is your client doing?
He's in good spirits.
Adding to the tragedy for the Johnson family is that Cheryl had only recently become a widow, losing her husband to a heart attack. 9 News understands she had been long-time friends with her accused killer. A car believed to belong to the 62-year-old was towed away for more forensic testing this afternoon. What allegedly happened inside this home between 2 friends, now a burning question for the grieving families. Hayley Francis, 9 News.
3 suspected organised crime figures have faced court accused of executing a violent drive-by shooting in Melbourne this morning. A hail of bullets was blasted into a family home before a dramatic arrest.
Caught in the crossfire of a suburban shootout, a car and a fence riddled with bullets, the sound of gunfire piercing through the night air as tensions between warring gangs reached boiling point.
It was like a rattle, it was like a spray. That's why I thought it sounded like fireworks.
Boom, 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 boom. 2 times, twice.
This Heather Avenue home, the suspected target for a group holding high-powered firearms.
This is more like sporadic.
2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and then at about 1:28, a car zoomed off.
Up to 40 bullets blasted towards it at 1:30 a.m.
What can you tell us? Get the
off my property.
Was there a shooting here last
Get
night?
the out of my property.
The mother and adult children living there were unwilling to explain why.
If you've got nothing here, get the out, you stupid dogs.
2 18-year-olds were arrested nearby with the help of the Special Operations Group, allegedly found in possession of a gun and a stolen car. 4 others were arrested hours later. Today, 3 were charged, including 21-year-old Hadi Al-Habaya, who was on bail at the time, and 18-year-old Matada Al-Asawi, also accused of a home invasion in Warren last month. The court heard police were already on to some of the accused with a listening device planted in one of their vehicles. An Arabic translator is now required to decipher some of the conversations had in the lead up to the attack, and it will be alleged some of the offenders are linked to other shootings in previous months. Police suspect they're all associated with Middle Eastern organised crime. 3 men in their 20s have been released. Lana Murphy, 9 News.
Amber Heard has claimed the social media commentary around the defamation trial she lost to ex-husband Johnny Depp was unfair. But in her first interview since the blockbuster trial, she also said she didn't blame the jury.
Blame them. I actually understand he's a beloved character and people feel they know him.
The TikTok hashtag Justice for Amber Heard had about 80 million views, while Justice for Johnny Depp racked up nearly 20 billion. Prince Andrew has missed another key family occasion, the annual procession of the Order of the Garter. The palace confirmed it was a family decision to keep him out of the colourful 700-year-old ceremony. But not everyone is out in the cold. Camilla was appointed a royal companion by the Queen, who posed for a photo with the Duchess and Prince Charles. In the news ahead, a disqualified driver who left her injured victims behind pleads guilty. And actor, Oscar winner, defendant Kevin Spacey about to have his day in court. And floods hit a US icon, homes and a bridge powerless in its path.
It's TV's biggest night, and it all kicks off with your favourite stars on the stunning red carpet.
You look magnificent.
The glitz, the glamour, it's back.
Are we ready for this?
I'm so excited.
With live performances from Jimmy Barnes, Jessica Malboy, and international superstar Callum Scott.
Where do we go wrong?
Celebrate the best of Australian television.
Finally here. Gold Logie. Gold Logie. Gold Logie.
Goes to
The TV Week Logies.
Thank you.
From where else but the Gold Coast. Sunday at 7 on 9.
Silks Darwin, Darwin's premier licensed club and gaming venue, featuring the Track Restaurant, Gaming Lounge, Sports Bar and the Territory's largest rooftop deck. Try our $15 lunch specials Monday to Friday and the $15 dinner specials Monday to Thursday. Enjoy the Silks 421 happy hour every Friday and live entertainment Friday and Saturday nights. There's a $2,500 monthly mega raffle and a weekly $1,000 members draw. Silks Darwin, Dickwood Drive, Fanny Bay.
Straight Line Blinds have been servicing Darwin with quality window furnishings and awnings since 1990. We manufacture blinds in-house to the highest quality. Save 12% by submitting your quote request online. straightlineblinds.com.au. Check them out yourself.
Life's busy. Jenny Craig gets it. Order online anytime. The food is delicious. It can even be delivered. Members lost an average of 6 kilos in the first 4 weeks. You won't regret it. Start today.
Darwin Accommodation Services offer a range of disability accommodation and support services, including SIL, STA, SDA and MTA. DAS Accommodation and Support Services, another initiative of HPA, now offering NDIS coordination of supports.
The Beds R Us gigantic June sale is on. Australian-made mattresses on sale. Beds, bedroom furniture and more, all on sale. Get up to a massive 50% off. Gigantic June sale, on now at your local Beds R Us store.
Are you looking to sell or exit your business? Explore your exit options for the best outcome and maximise your return. Specialist business advisory tailored for owners. Call Andrew Hahn at Territory Business Sales to discuss your exit options today.
It's an aloha hoo-ha.
I just saw what you had for breakfast.
Travel Guides Hawaii Special, Wednesday.
A disqualified driver has pleaded guilty to causing a devastating crash in Adelaide, then leaving 2 injured victims behind without even trying to help them. The admission's now all about protecting herself. Her lawyer telling the magistrate she'll be seeking the maximum discount on her sentence.
Moments after this horrifying hit and run at Morford Vale last month, Danielle Lewis rushes from one car to another, jumping into a stolen orange Kia, badly damaged after T-bowing a blue Honda hatchback at the intersection of Main South and Randell Roads. Then she flees. Trapped inside the wreckage she left behind and critically injured was Rena Yeager, her passenger hurt too. But despite today admitting to causing the crash and leaving Miss Yeager for dead, 25-year-old Lewis told the court she'll be asking for a huge discount on her ultimate sentence.
Oh my God. You can't drive away from that. She just got in the car.
Lewis's lawyer said the decision to plead guilty to 2 aggravated counts of causing harm by dangerous driving and 1 of failing to stop and render assistance was made as early as possible, and asked the court to make a note of that on the official record. That means the discount Lewis could be entitled to is as high as 25%. Lewis remains in custody while she learns if her legal tactic has been successful. For 51-year-old Rena Yeager, however, the fallout from the crash is far from over.
Kevin Spacey will appear in court in London this week on sexual assault charges following a review of evidence gathered by the Metropolitan Police. The actor is accused of 5 offences against 3 men.
He's been known as a movie star and 2-time Oscar winner. This week, Kevin Spacey will be called the defendant. The 62-year-old will appear in Westminster Magistrates Court after London's Metropolitan Police said Kevin Spacey Fowler has been formally charged with 4 counts of sexual assault against 3 men. He's also been charged with sexual penetration without consent against 1 of the men. The alleged victims are now aged in their 30s and 40s. The allegations relate to Spacey's time at London's famous Old Vic Theatre, where he was artistic director for 11 years. Prosecutors allege the incidents happened between 2005 and 2008 in London and 2013 in Gloucestershire. The Met launched an investigation in 2017 and interviewed Spacey 2 years later. The bosses of the Old Vic have since apologised after claims of the star's inappropriate behaviour, blaming its organisational failings on a cult of personality. British police couldn't formally charge Kevin Spacey until he arrived here. If he hadn't chosen to come voluntarily, they would have had to start extradition proceedings against him. Spacey has denied all the allegations against him. If found guilty, he faces a possible sentence of life in prison. In London, Brett McLeod, 9 News.
Intense rainfall is wreaking havoc in the US state of Montana. Full of floodwater, this swollen river washed away a home and smashed apart a large bridge, carrying it downstream. The wild weather also triggered landslides in Yellowstone National Park, damaging roads, forcing it to temporarily close to visitors. Still ahead in 9 News, doctors call it a blockbuster, the osteoporosis drug that builds new bones. So why are so many Australians missing out? A major breakthrough in the decade-old murder of a Queensland father, and Mick Jagger struck down by COVID, the Rolling Stones tour in turmoil.
No through road unless you're a developer.
This is our home.
There's vacant land, but the developers want the road to go through the middle of the family's home.
A place we love could be taken from us.
That's all I know.
We'll fight to the end.
A current affair next.
Charles Darwin University is the perfect study environment. It's big enough to offer great degrees, but small enough that your lecturers know your name. So what are you waiting for?
Did someone say KFC?
I don't care.
Jape Furnishing Superstore stock take sale is on now. Save a minimum 20% up to 50% off discontinued, excess, shop soiled and damaged stock. Grab a bargain today. Terms and conditions apply. Jape Furnishing Superstore, your local furniture store. Sometimes you just really need your specs or contacts to get on with life. Did you know Optical Superstore has same-day specs, same-day service? That's right. Same-day specs, same-day service and contact lenses. Opticalsuperstore.com.au. Your eye health starts at Optical Superstore.
Optical Superstore can, yes, they do it with care and make the world look good.
Visit Central Australia this year and enjoy some of the best events on offer. The Beanie Festival, 24 to 27 June. A quirky community event bringing together crafters from across the country to celebrate the humble headwarmer. The Alice Springs Show, a kaleidoscope of entertainment and education for everyone, 1st and 2nd July, showcasing the region's pastoral and agricultural industry. Up Murra and Bartua, the Australian Ceramics Triennale, 19 to 23 July. Australia's landmark National Ceramics Conference hosted by Central Craft. Get out there and do something different. Book accommodation, tours and car hire for these great events at discovercentralaustralia.com.
At Murray Oakley Discount Electrical Retrovision, it's 30 days of giveaways. Shop online or in-store for a chance to win 30 daily prizes in June. That's over $20,000 in prizes when you shop all the electrical stuff you love at Retrovision.
Join us at Mindle Beach Casino Resort for your chance to win a cornucopia of cash. We have an abundance of cash prizes to be won every Saturday and every Sunday. Entry is free. Simply collect your wristband on arrival. Lucky North Club members who earn 100 points on the day can receive 2 extra entries. Join us for your chance to win a cornucopia of cash this weekend at Mindle Beach Casino Resort.
The Ninja Phenomenon
That's some ninja magic right there.
is reborn. Monday, June 27.
For over a decade, it's been one of Queensland's most perplexing cold case murders, but tonight police are one step closer to catching the killers of a 56-year-old Brisbane father. Detectives have found the murder weapon and, for the first time, links to an outlaw motorcycle gang.
Execution murder turned cold case. Now police have the weapon and are closing in on the killers.
It's accelerated the investigation. It's a great assistance to us to find the weapon involved.
John Lazzaro, 56-year-old father, shot dead in the living room of his Roachdale South home in 2012 by 2 masked intruders. This Browning 1900 semi-automatic handgun, now the centre of the decade-long investigation. For the first time, detectives tonight confirming
It appears that this death, the death of Mr. Lazzaro, is a result of the involvement of members of the Bandidos outlaw criminal motorcycle gang.
establishing links to Brisbane's underworld with the weapon, but still unsure of an exact motive. Investigators are, for now, keeping a number of things about the weapon secret. What we do know, it was discovered here in Queensland, leading to a search warrant and a 45-year-old man in New South Wales.
Police question a man, a 45-year-old New South Wales man, in relation to his knowledge of this gun. We've identified that a number of people have had possession of that firearm since it was used to kill Mr. Lazzaro in 2012.
Tonight's breakthrough following the release of CCTV in April showing a trade-back ute speeding in Roachdale, spotted shortly before the shooting, less than 100 metres from Mr. Lazzaro's home.
We still believe that there's members in our community that have knowledge of Mr. Lazzaro's death. A previously announced $500,000 reward remains on offer for any information leading to the conviction of any person responsible for the death of Mr. Lazzaro.
Reece D'Alessandro, 9 News.
For those with brittle bones, it can be life-changing, but many sufferers are missing out. Experts want to see a new blockbuster drug made more widely available and used as a first-line treatment.
For years, Carol David has endured the painful effects of osteoporosis.
My spine, I don't have one vertebrae that hasn't fractured or compressed. I've lost 9 centimetres in height. I've fractured my sternum twice. Ribs, I'd lost count. And each fracture is painful.
She's tried all the treatments available to stop her brittle bones from getting worse.
I've been on all the medications possible. None of them have worked until now.
Within months of receiving injections of this new drug, her life changed dramatically.
I can do more, I'm stronger, I can stand upright. The improvement in my quality of life has been amazing.
Rheumatologists say Evenity can strengthen weak bones in 2 ways, not just one.
It not only makes new bone, but it also reduces your bone being chewed up. So it increases bone formation and it reduces bone resorption. So it's a win-win situation. And so what we see is a marked increase in bone thickness.
The drug was placed on the PBS last year, but access is limited to patients who've had 2 or more fractures and who are deemed high risk on their bone mineral density scans.
We would certainly advocate for a wider access to such a blockbuster drug.
That includes using it as first-line treatment, which will be considered at a government advisory meeting next month.
There's a 30% chance that you will die in the next 12 months following a hip fracture. So this is a very serious condition.
Gabriella Rogers, 9 News.
Rolling Stones fans in Amsterdam were left disappointed when the band cancelled their concert an hour and a half before it was due to start after lead singer Mick Jagger contracted COVID. In a statement, the band said the 78-year-old had tested positive after experiencing symptoms of COVID upon arrival at the stadium.
You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometime, you just might find you get what you get.
There were no further details about Sir Mick's condition. Coming up in sport, why Panthers players are so confident Cameron Serraldo will knock back head coaching roles to stay an assistant at Penrith. The Socceroos have qualified for Qatar, so how will they match up with the world's best in November? And the Saudi leaving Deng Riak starstruck as he returns from a lengthy layoff.
They take one barramundi that's worth $1 million and release them back into the wild.
Somewhere out there is $1 million fish.
It definitely beats catching crocodiles.
Now the hunt is on to catch it.
Oh, what do we got here?
All new wild territory tonight on 9.
Kia, movement that inspires.
The Great Northern Darwin Cup Carnival. 8 days of racing featuring the $200,000 Great Northern Darwin Cup. Get your tickets now at darwinturfclub.org.au.
For 20 years, we've stood the test of time here in the Territory. Where others have come and gone, you've stuck by us and we've stayed strong. Where quality brands stand tall and our years of experience can help you build it all. You see, we're more than a construction supply specialist. We're your local partner to help see you through.
From first property search to first inquiry, first inspection to fourth bid, first on the dotted line to second investment, first home to third home. We put you first. Benefit firsthand from our local experience. First National Real Estate. We put you first.
This is Terry. on his way to deliver to Gary, who runs a small local business. But it's not all Australia Post is delivering for Aussie businesses. They've delivered $1 billion of investment in tech, vehicles and parcel facilities to help businesses like Wax On Candles go from the garage to the globe.
Hey, how's the candle business? We're on fire.
Good one, Gary. $1 billion to help Aussies and their businesses. Another way Australia Post is delivering like never before.
This sports report brought to you by Harvey Norman. Shop online, mobile or in-store today.
Cameron Ciraldo is the coach at the top of every struggling club's recruitment list. He's already met with the Tigers and is firmly on the radar of the Bulldogs and Dolphins, but the Panthers haven't given up hope of keeping their star assistant after he stepped in for Ivan Cleary.
They boast the best defence in the NRL, but Panthers players have been left in awe. Tough their head coach is. Ivan Cleary returning to training today after last week being admitted to intensive care with blood clots.
I think you wouldn't like me talking about him being tough and all that in front of everyone. So yeah, he's really resilient guy, Ivan. It just shows how selfless he is. Just didn't want us to worry about him.
He didn't need to worry with Cameron Ciraldo stepping in. The most sought-after coach in the competition, only adding to the reasons why he's being chased by the Tigers and the club where Viliami Kikau is headed, the Bulldogs.
Asira is a good coach and yeah, he'll definitely be a good head coach as well. So yeah, it doesn't really, I think, bother him or me where he goes.
It could be nowhere at all. Despite the attention, the Panthers remain confident Ciraldo will stay at Penrith as an assistant.
Whenever he's ready to step into a head coaching role, I'm pretty sure he'll do an amazing job, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he's pretty keen to just stay out here at the moment.
Hunting a coach, the Tigers today said goodbye to a star player. Luciano Leilua granted an immediate release, allowing him to link up with the Cowboys, who he's already signed for next season. And the Sharks have also hit the road. From Cronulla to Coffs Harbour, where they've shifted Saturday's home game against the Titans.
It's a really good sort of midweek camp to get away for us, so we're excited for the game to come.
Sam Jordan, 9 News.
Melbourne's woes have deepened with a double injury concern for skipper Max Gawn. The ruckman was hobbling around today in a moon boot as the reigning premiers try to regroup after 3 straight losses.
Despite nursing multiple complaints, Max Gawn hasn't lost his sense of humour in assessing where it all went wrong.
My opponent was best on, so...
But the Demons skipper certainly has his excuses.
Are you worried about either of them more than the other?
Being in the moon boot's not great. Again, all precautionary. We could look like stupid and I'm running tomorrow.
He also went into yesterday's clash with a back complaint made worse by this contest late in the second term.
I was pretty spasmy going into the game. So the knee certainly didn't help, but yeah, it all blew up in my face just before half-time.
Gawn declaring that was a factor in losing his cool at the Magpies bench.
I think everything just came to a complete halt for me. My back and my ankle were going at the same time and I was just a little bit grumpy.
With that Pies defeat, their 3rd straight, importantly, Gawn says the Demons have identified a key reason why they're struggling.
Teams are beating us the same way, lots of scores from turnover, and we're struggling to score from turnover ourselves, so we'll look into that.
Melbourne now with the bye before a meeting with Brisbane.
I'd take 10 and 3 at the start of the year. I mean, thanks to everyone for giving us the shortest bye of all time. Monday game into a Thursday game. It's like a normal break.
Whether that bye is enough for Gawn to overcome his ailments remains to be seen.
Socceroos great Mark Bosnich says Graham Arnold's decision to sub in his backup goalkeeper in this morning's World Cup qualifier was the boldest coaching call in Australian soccer history. Bosnich also believes Arnold's team can surprise their higher-ranked opponents in Qatar this November.
Andrew Redmayne etching his name into football folklore.
They are going to the World Cup.
The Socceroos saviour brushing off praise like another Peru penalty.
At the end of the day, it's a flip of a coin. It's either right or left.
Credit for the shootout success is going to Australian coach Graham Arnold, who subbed off his captain and first-choice goalkeeper Matt Ryan moments before extra time ended.
I think that's one of the biggest calls in Australian football history, the biggest call, no doubt. But I think in football history in general.
The gamble on Redmayne's larger frame and bizarre pre-penalty dance routine paying off.
Andrew Redmayne's got a very peculiar technique, which has been done before, but I don't think to that extreme. You've got to think to yourself, I'm looking at that ball, I'm looking at the goal, I'm seeing somebody going up and down. I think, is he joking or is he serious? What's going on?
Now the Socceroos have qualified for Qatar, the challenge becomes even more daunting. Australia will be the lowest ranked team in Group D, where they'll face Tunisia, Denmark and defending champions France.
If they can play like they did this morning, you know, they can give it a right shake. We'll go into it as underdogs, and I think Australian footballing teams, it suits them much more being underdogs.
Luke Dovesey, 9 News.
Aussie Min Wee Lu is chasing the ultimate family sporting double at the Men's US Open later this week, just 10 days after his sister Min Ji Lee won the women's event. But as for celebrating with her record $2.5 million paycheck...
It was pretty casual. Just had a lot of good food that week, and yeah, it was awesome. She's very happy with how she's going, and yeah, it was a proud moment.
The 23-year-old finished tied 14th in an impressive Masters debut in April. The Golden State Warriors are just one win away from a 7th NBA title after a thrilling victory over Boston in Game 5 of the finals. The Warriors looked in control until the Celtics hit 8 straight three-pointers to take the lead late in the third quarter. But Golden State fought back to claim a 104-94 victory. Game 6 is on Friday in Boston. Joe Goodall and Justice Hooney have their game faces painted on the eve of their much-anticipated heavyweight bout in Brisbane. The fight was originally scheduled for February, and it seems over the past few months they've grown tired of the same old questions. Goodall even leaping to Hooney's defence over claims he lacks a world-class killer punch.
It's the heavyweights, everyone's got power. You get hit with a 110-kilo guy, it's got power. You've been hit with a 110-kilo guy?
I hope you don't hit me, Joe.
A little interruption, then that familiar expression was back. Sometimes there are fights reporters shouldn't pick. The Salties have received a huge boost heading to Friday night's clash against Cairns. Dang Riak finally returning from a calf injury. The power forward's inclusion desperately needed with Darwin light on interior forces, and Riak's relishing the chance to form a dynamic duo with one of his heroes.
Dang Riak's back. His re-emergence all down to hard work, a skill learned in a number of places.
I'm a Melbourne kid, so I grew up in Melbourne, played all my juniors there. Went to America, did the college thing, played a few years in Europe.
Life in Darwin different, but rewarding nonetheless. Dane getting a kick out of his time in the Territory.
I got the call from Matt Flynn, and then he told me about this opportunity. And I was like, great weather, great people, I'll give it a go.
Unfortunately, he's not yet been able to. The 27-year-old sidelined since the Salties' first match of the season with a torn calf. But the power forward has rehabbed for the past 6 weeks and is now ready to return.
So I was really surprised at how well and organised it is over here, and how much they've just taken care of me and just helped me to get back as soon as possible.
Another helping hand, star signing Nate Jawai, who continues to lead by example. For Dang, the chance to play alongside the former NBA big man will be a surreal experience.
I used to watch him when I was a little kid on TV, like the Boomers, NBL and all that stuff. Just been teaching me every day, and then playing against him in practice. I don't think I've ever played with anybody that big, because I'm normally the biggest guy on the court.
The pair link up for the first time on Friday night when the Salties host the Marlins.
Take a lot of attention off me, so I'm excited about that.
Serving as a warning to Cairns, while Nate's a hero in your hometown, disregard Dang Riak if you dare. Matthew Simpicus, 9 News.
Well, Georgie has your full weather report after the break. Georgie, how are the national parks looking today?
Murph, if you were out exploring Berry Springs today, you were in for a treat. 15 degrees this morning. I'll have your full weather forecast next.
Winter crisis. Can we keep the lights and heaters on? Will there be blackouts? Why you're being asked to save power? Your questions answered. A current affair next.
Are you ready to fly?
Ready to fly.
I'm gonna show you what the real Elvis is like tonight!
Silks Darwin, Darwin's premier licensed club and gaming venue, featuring the Track Restaurant, Gaming Lounge, Sports Bar and the Territory's largest rooftop deck. Try our $15 lunch specials Monday to Friday and the $15 dinner specials Monday to Thursday. Enjoy the Silks 421 happy hour every Friday and live entertainment Friday and Saturday nights. There's a $2,500 monthly mega raffle and a weekly $1,000 members draw. Silks Darwin, Dickwood Drive, Fanny Bay.
Are you sweltering? When the temperature hits you, just get a Fujitsu. And right now, when you buy a Fujitsu air conditioner, you'll receive a digital prepaid MasterCard worth up to $450. Fujitsu, Australia's favourite air.
The Rotary Club of Darwin's $1 Million Hole-in-One. An exciting golf competition with a grand prize of $1 million up for grabs. Held every Wednesday night at Gardens Park Golf Club from April 27th to July 13th. There'll be food and bar facilities available with weekly prizes on offer. Don't miss the highlight of the event with the $1 Million final shootout on July 13th. All proceeds go towards the No More campaign and the Rotary Junior Sports Foundation. Get your game on at the Rotary Club of Darwin's $1 Million Hole-in-One.
Charles Darwin University is the perfect study environment. It's big enough to offer great degrees, but small enough that your lecturers know your name. So what are you waiting for?
Storm clouds gathering over your business? You'll need help from someone who knows the local law, because every case has a silver lining.
Need your rego check? Then book yourself into Goodyear City Tyre Service, McMinn Street, today.
For fully qualified and experienced mechanics who will always steer you right, pop into Goodyear City Tyre Service. Service, it's in their name.
Tomorrow, our energy savings special. The rebates available now that'll lower your power bill, and as their prices come down, which electric cars make financial sense as a family runaround.
Plus, the guilt-free fast food favourites from Macca's to KFC.
This program is brought to you by NT Keno. Are you the Territory's next millionaire? Play today for your chance to win.
Hello again. The dry season is well and truly in full swing. The humidity sitting around that 20% mark this afternoon. Today, Darwin reached a top of 32 degrees. The humidity peaked at 61%. Right now, it's around 27 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite, a low and trough will trigger showers over southern South Australia, Western Victoria and Tasmania. A trough will bring a few showers to WA's northwest. For the capitals tomorrow, partly cloudy, a top of 22 in Brisbane, sunny and 19 for Sydney. Canberra, a morning frost dropping below 0 degrees. A shower and 12 for Hobart. Melbourne, a top of 13. 17 and showers for Adelaide tomorrow, and Perth dropping to 10 degrees overnight. In the top end tomorrow, a top of 34 for Howard Springs. Katherine, some light winds around, a top of 33. Tennant Creek, sunny and a top of 27 tomorrow, and Alice Springs dropping to 5 degrees overnight. On the Darwin Harbour, seas below 1 metre, east to southeasterly about 10 knots, becoming west to northwesterly in the evening. A low tide of 2.5 metres after midday, with a high tide of over 7 metres at 7 a.m. Time to check out our catch of the day, and today's winner is Charlie, who caught this blue bone. What a cracker. And if you too have caught a prize-worthy fish, don't forget to send your catch of the day entries to newsphotos@9.com.au. 33 for Palmerston tomorrow, temperatures dropping to around 20 degrees overnight. Humpty Doo, a degree cooler overnight, but mostly sunny. 32 degrees and mostly sunny for Darwin tomorrow, with some slight cloud cover. And as for the next 7 days in Darwin, overnight temperatures still sitting around that low 20s. So Murph, those beautiful cooler temperatures are here to stay. Perfect weather to get out and about and see those gorgeous sunsets.
Certainly spectacular. Georgie, thank you. Well, as we reported earlier, the Australian share market was caught in a global selling frenzy today, hit by its worst loss in more than 2 years. Here's Chris Kohler again.
$72 billion was wiped out today. All the gains from the last 16 months lost in a matter of hours. It seemed indiscriminate. Almost everything fell. Fortescue, Macquarie and Qantas, for example, are all very different businesses, but they all lost more than 5% today. The fall takes our market into a technical correction, which means it's lost more than 10% from its recent high. It is faring better than Wall Street, but that won't mean much to local investors after their worst day in 2 years. Bitcoin also crumbled. It's now below $23,000 In November, it was 66,000. Happily, there was one thing that was higher today, the Aussie dollar. After falling all week, it was back on the way to 70 US cents and buying 66.7 euro cents today.
Good on you, Chris. Certainly an extraordinary day. Sniffing scraps left on a stove has landed this pooch in the doghouse, setting off a chain reaction that set its Missouri home ablaze. When the pet jumped up to the cooktop, a push-button ignition was activated, and it didn't take long for the greasy pan on top to go up in flames. The dog survived the ordeal thanks to a local fire crew. Could happen to anyone, I guess, but there we go. That is 9 News for this Tuesday. Thanks for your company. I hope to see you back again from 6 p.m. tomorrow night. For now, though, I'm Paul Murphy, and from all the team, we do wish you a very good night.